Okay, guys, today I was going to actually have a Nearpod that I wanted to play for you, but for some reason it's taking forever to load. So I'm going to do a screencast, and I'm going to actually play the slides from Nearpod onto the screencast. And so just sit back and listen, and let's get started.
If you remember, a while back I talked about why I decided to choose sea turtles to talk about life cycles and offspring. There's a lot going on in the spring, lots of baby animals are being born, but something is definitely unique about sea turtles and COVID-19. While a lot of us have been stuck inside, sea turtles have been getting a lot of extra time outside. Definitely on beaches that are closed off to the public. Something magical started to happen earlier last month. So I want to read an article to you that took place at the beginning of April, and then I want to have some discussions with you about what you think are the positives and negatives effects of COVID-19 and sea turtles. Let's go ahead and get started. Go ahead and click to move to the next slide.
Okay, this is a really interesting tweet that was tweeted by WWF, the World Wildlife Fund, and it was actually tweeted on April 2020, and it says, today's hashtag One Smile Each Day comes in the form of 97 tiny hawksbill sea turtles, which hatched last Sunday in Paulista, Brazil. These critically endangered turtles help to protect coral reefs, which are critical for the survival of many other creatures. Now, this tweet caught my attention because I have actually seen a hawksbill sea turtle up close and in person when I was scuba diving in Hawaii one year, a long time ago, even before Avery was born. So these turtles are so beautiful and majestic that this tweet caught my eye. But it's also amazing because 97 of sea turtles actually hatched. And that's pretty awesome. So let's go ahead and read the article to figure out a little bit more about what was going on in Brazil to make this even more a celebration.
The title of this article is called Endangered Turtles Hatch on Beach Deserted Due to COVID-19. Now, before we start reading the article, I want to talk a little bit about two vocabulary words within the title of this article. The first one is endangered, and endangered means there's not very many of this animal or species left due to so many different types of situations, whether that's humans poaching and killing the animals, whether that's pollution that's making the animals sick either in the water or the air or on land. But there's not many numbers of that specific animal or species left. The next word I want to talk about is the word deserted. And I don't mean dessert like something you would have after dinner. Deserted means that it's completely empty. There's no one around. So these endangered animals are hatching on a beach that's deserted, so no one's around, due to COVID-19. So let's go ahead and start reading what the caption of the photo says below. It says, nearly 100 endangered sea turtles have hatched on a Brazilian beach left deserted due to people staying in and self-isolating. The shoreline in Paulista, a town in the northeastern state of Pernambuco, Brazil, is usually packed with beachgoers who are able to witness the incredible moment the baby turtles crack their way out of their eggs. This year, it's a very different scene, however, as State Governor Paulino Camara ordered a partial shutdown, so partial means a part shutdown, in the area last week, urging residents to stay indoors and restricting them from gathering on beaches. So this is very fascinating. So we're removing the impact of humans on the beach, and something very amazing is starting to happen. Let's keep reading to see if we can find out more. Go ahead and click the next slide. On March 22nd, 97 hawksbill sea turtles broke free from their shells and took their first cautious steps towards the Atlantic Ocean, with almost no one around to witness the scene. Now, if you remember, March 22nd was almost like a week after we left school. So that's pretty amazing, right? We can think about that time. That's been a while ago, and there have been a lot of closed beaches since. So I'm curious, I wonder if the same result has happened on other beaches around the world. Go ahead and click the next slide and let's find out more. A statement from the City Hall of Paulista says the hatching of the eggs and the first contact of the animals with the water was only possible thanks to monitoring work carried out by technicians in the Urban Sustainability Center. Now, if I think about that a little bit deeper, that tells me there must have been someone on the beach, because it's talking about someone monitoring the work that's carried out by this sustainability center, these technicians. Why do you think that we would need someone there on the beach to help these little sea turtles actually get to the ocean? We know that we've watched several videos, and we know that like a very small percent, I think 0.1% of the turtles that come out of the eggs actually survive. They actually make it and thrive within their little clutch, or their hatchlings, all they're in the nest. So whether that's coming out of the nest and getting to the water, or actually surviving once they get into the water, why do you think it's important for humans to actually still be there? Because we know there were a few people there. It wasn't overcrowded, but there were these technicians that are helping. So what do you think about that? And let me know on Seesaw if you have some ideas. Okay, let's keep reading. It says, hawksbill sea turtles are considered a critically endangered species by the WWF. Brazil's Tamar Conservation Project contributes to the restoration of the species. And restoration is just a fancy word for saying restore, or to bring back to life the species. So we know that they're endangered. There's not very many. And this group of people come together to help restore the species. So I want you to think about what are some ways that they could be helping to restore these species. It says not only those species, as well as restorations of the olive ridley sea turtle, which is the smallest sea turtle of all 7, the loggerhead sea turtle, and the leatherback sea turtle, which is the largest sea turtle of all 7 sea turtles. All right, go ahead and click next. Let's keep reading. Hawksbills can grow up to 110 centimeters and weigh 85 kilograms, or 187 pounds. That's more than I weigh. They are said to be strongly associated with coral reef areas, and I wonder why. We've learned in the videos, why would these turtles like to hang out around these coral reef areas? Well, if you remember, many of them feed off of seagrass and seaweed inside the ocean floors. They breathe, so they have to come to the surface to get a breath, and then that can take them all the way back down to those coral reefs or bottoms of the ocean. It says, and often suffer as a result of human action, as they can accidentally, or as they can caught accidentally in ghost nets or gill nets left for hours to catch fish. So humans, of course, are going in and they're trying to catch fish, and they use these big nets. And what happens is these sea turtles get stuck in the nets, right? It says, after hatching, the sea turtles are at risk of being snatched by birds or crushed by beachgoers. Though the latter of those threats was minimized thanks to recent restrictions. So what that's saying in the article is that the beaches are deserted. Remember, that means that there's not a lot of people around. So even though there's birds that are coming and they're snatching up the sea turtles as a delicious snack, it's sad, but it's true. Another reason why a lot of these hatchlings don't ever actually make it into the ocean is because beachgoers are walking and they crush the sea turtles by accident. So because the beachgoers are not there, those threats are being minimized thanks to the recent restrictions of actually being asked to stay home during COVID-19. Okay, go ahead and click next. The 4 species of turtles protected by the Tamar Conservation Project can all be found along Brazilian coastlines. Paulista's Environment Secretary Roberto Couto said the animals normally lay their eggs from January each year before the hatchlings emerge in April or May. The Guardian reports. He commented, It's really beautiful because you can see the exact instant they come out of the eggs and watch their little march across the beach. It's marvelous. It's wonderful, extraordinary feeling. This time, because of coronavirus, we couldn't even tell people it was happening, right? They couldn't even tell when people are happening because why? Because no one was actually on the beaches really watching that, maybe except for a few technicians, right? I have to say, I have been scuba diving in Hawaii, and I have seen a hawksbill sea turtle. It came right up to my face. It was the most amazing, beautiful thing I think I've ever seen. So not only is it extraordinary to watch these beautiful turtles hatch from their eggs and march to the ocean, across the beach to the ocean, it's also magnificent. If you ever get a chance to learn how to snorkel or scuba dive, I'm going to encourage you to do it. Do not be afraid because the world underneath the ocean is amazing. Okay, go ahead and click next to move to the next slide. According to the WWF, sea turtles are the living representatives of a group of reptiles that has existed on Earth and traveled our seas for over the last 100 million years. If you remember in the video we watched above, they track sea turtles all the way back to the years of the dinosaur years. The animals are a fundamental link in marine ecosystems and help maintain the health of coral reefs and seagrass beds. Without the sea turtles, there is an effect. So because if we say, because there are no sea turtles, what happens? Well, the effect is going to be that we may not have, or we may have an overabundance of coral reefs and seagrass beds. So everything is a balance. The earth has to balance itself, and it's our job as humans, as part of that, to protect our earth and our environment. So here's my lasting question for you. These articles and the tweet that we saw, those were posted back in March and April. It is now May, and there has been some good news about being able to start to reopen our cities where we can start doing more things. For some states, such as Florida and other warm areas around the world, like Brazil, many people are going to start to come out to the beaches. I want to know what your thoughts are. Do you think there's going to be a problem as more and more sea turtle eggs start to hatch? So let me know your thoughts. Do you think that we're still going to have lots of great hatches? Or do you think that more and more people are going to start to come to the beach and it's going to cause problems for the sea turtles? I want you to leave a comment on Seesaw letting me know what your thoughts are. What do you think is going to happen? All right, thanks for listening. Go ahead and click next to end this slide, and you can move on in the module.